Welcome to another nail tutorial. Today I'll be creating this funky rainbow colored French tips manicure using a nail stamping plate. This look is so easy to do since we're using a pattern for the French tips, so you really can't mess it up. So let's get right into it. If you have any questions about anything I'm doing, just leave a comment down below. I started off by prepping my natural nails. For that, I used the Sally Hansen cuticle remover, which makes them less hard so you can push them back a bit when they're soft with the flat edge of this tool. Then of course this is a UV lamp that I'll be using for the gel nails, so just make sure you add some sunscreen. And this object is just a stand that helps me keep the polish bottles upright so I don't knock them over on accident while I'm working. So first we'll start with the gel polish. So before adding any colored coats, you have to add the base coat so it can stick to the nail properly. And I'll go ahead and cure that by sliding my hand in the curing lamp for about 30 seconds, depending on which lamp you have. And this is what it looks like after that base coat. After that, we can add our first colored polish. So this gel polish is from ASP in the color Creme de la Creme. This will cover the whole nail under the colored tip, so I'm just going for a soft tan to match my natural color. And again, we can cure this under the lamp for about 30 seconds. And I did 3 layers of this polish, so here's what that looks like after all of those layers are done. Now we can seal all of those layers in with the gel top coat, since the colored tips will not be using a gel polish. Those colors actually need a different polish for nail stamping because it requires a slightly different thickness. So once that layer is cured, we'll need to grab some nail polish remover and do a quick swipe on each nail to wipe off the tacky layer that remains. And this is what those nails look like after the top coat. Next is my favorite part, which is stamping on the pattern with a stamping plate. So before you start stamping, you'll need to remove the blue protective layer from the plate. This plate is perfect for French tips because it has all kinds of shapes and sizes just for that. And I have this particular plate linked in the description below. So this is the scraper that you use to flatten the polish out on the pattern. And this is the stamper that picks up the pattern from the plate. And I'll be using this Born Pretty blue stamping polish. So just place a bit of the polish on the design that you want to transfer. Then you'll take your scraper and scrape the polish over the design so it fills in the holes, and take your stamper and pick that pattern up by rolling it left to right, and then you can just transfer it onto your nail. So that's what it looks like. Then of course after each use, make sure you clean the plate and scraper with some nail polish, and you can clean the stamper with some Scotch tape. Then to clean up your nail, just use a Q-tip with some remover on it. And there it is all cleaned up. Next I'll use this light blue stamping polish. And a little trick I learned is to draw a tiny dot in the center of your nail to help you line up the pattern perfectly. And again, go ahead and transfer the polish with the stamper. That's actually why it's best to use a clear stamper instead of a solid one so you can kind of see through it easier. And just use a Q-tip to remove that excess. And I'll just do the same thing for the rest of my nails. So this time I'm using a pink polish. And you want to do all of this pretty fast because the polish dries very quickly when it gets on the stamper. Next I've got an orangey red color for my pinky. And again, I'll just put some polish down, scrape it, and stamp it on. And sometimes the pattern doesn't turn out perfectly, but you can always go over it with more polish to just fill it out. Then I'll just do some purple for my thumb. Again, just putting some polish down, scraping it, and then using the stamper to pick it up. Looks pretty good. I can just clean that up a bit. And then lastly, we just need another top coat layer to make sure that stamped layer doesn't rub off at all. This will also help just make it nice and shiny and glossy. And finally, I'll add some cuticle oil around the edges since I used a lot of nail polish remover and it's pretty dry right now. And that's the final look. I really liked how this funky multicolored French manicure turned out. Nail stamping is so fun and easy to do, so try it out. Let me know what you think about this design by leaving a comment down below, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in next week's video.